Keith Olbermann. Current TV, the Occupy Wall Street protests. What do they all have in common? Well, who was the first newscaster to cover the Wall Street protests? Well, the first one I've heard doing it was Keith Olbermann. And at the time, he was the only one doing it. Then came Ed Schultz. He decided to start up with it. And then, followed by Rachel Maddow, maybe Rachel Maddow, and then Ed Schultz. It gets fuzzy in there. But anyway, those at the time had become the main three. Later on, Cenk Uygur decided to get involved a little bit. But I think it was Keith Olbermann's desire to get the truth out that got him involved in covering them. Now, Keith Olbermann doesn't have a show. And the Occupy protests are not being covered for the most part. Ain't hardly anyone talking about them outside of the mainstream internet sites. The news media no longer has an interest in this kind of stuff. And is it just a coincidence that Keith Olbermann was fired? There might be more to it than some effort at publicity or something. I think we need to get Keith back in some form, whether it's on television or whatever, because there's something going on with all of these media sites that seems to want to shy away from the truth. These guys just seem to not want to engage in honesty. They want to fill us with all kinds of other kinds of fluff, and real news, not so much, not anymore. Keith Olbermann has a desire to tell the truth, to get the truth out. It's straight as an arrow. He was also made a reputation for a complete, absolute disdain for violent speech. And what I mean by that is threats of violence, threats of death. And he's had a tendency to call it out, whether it came from the right or the left. Keith didn't care. He's like, it's wrong. Whoever says it, whoever suggests it, whoever suggested to, about, on, of, whatever. And recently I've seen a comment on YouTube suggesting that Keith Olbermann get beheaded. So one thing to suggest this on other news commentators. It would have been unacceptable if it were said of Chris Matthews. As much as I do not like Chris Matthews much at all, for it seems to me that he is something of a conservative in liberal clothing, where he talks the talk of liberalism, but has the attitude of a conservative. He's got the neocon attitude, but the liberal wah-wah talk. I can't stand that. But Olbermann has always had a desire to meet the truth head on. This is a guy who not only put liberals on as worse persons, he also put himself quite close in that category, noting that, critiquing some of his own previous speeches. This guy has been known to use humor to his advantage, and this is basically where I stand. I don't believe there is a liberal media bias. If there is a liberal bias, it tends to go against the mainstream in media. And Fox is extreme conservative. Extreme. Now, I'm sure anything else would seem liberal compared to them. But when you are a liberal, there aren't too many in the outer Fox media that you could actually call true to life liberals. And Chris Matthews just doesn't fit that mold, and others like him definitely don't. Anyway, that's my opinion on Keith Olbermann, The Truth, Occupy, and Current TV.